Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of Builders Talk. And last week, I guess not last week, for the last few weeks, I've been busy putting together designs, design presentations, and quotes for prospective clients. And as you can imagine, these presentations take a lot of time to prepare. And at the moment, a lot of forward planning in terms of gathering data in relation to up and coming price increases. Expected increases, expected time delays, which cost us money, and deciding how much contingency should I add to the pricing to allow for the current environment we are working in, all while trying to balance the expectations from clients in regards to costing and also keeping work coming into our business. I found it also comes coupled with a bit of an anxiety as, am I going to make any money? Am I doing all this for nothing? People that are getting stuck in fixed price building contracts and having to, absorb a lot of the price increases that are coming into the industry, and a lot of them with only a week's notice. So it's making it very difficult for builders to quote, and builders, or I've heard about a lot of builders just saying they're not quoting anymore. They're just waiting. But waiting will not fill your pipeline, and it will not give you work further into the future. Sure, you might have clients banked up at the moment, but you still need to keep your business ticking along and keep your business, with your finger on the pulse rather than completely dropping the ball and then realizing when it's too late that you haven't got those clients in the pipeline. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the election. Obviously, that's been announced, and obviously there's been talk of interest rates going up. So are the interest rates going up going to scare people away from coming into, your offices and looking to build? At the moment, people are coming in. Well, I'm finding they're still coming in. They're not being slowed down by the costs of building at the moment, because I think they know that the costs are still going up. So they're trying to get in now before it's not affordable for them. Their land and the value of their properties are going up. So they're still at this stage filtering through into building because of all those factors. But those factors can soon change. And if you haven't got those people, lined up, or you haven't got work there that you can fall back onto or go back to those people, then, you could be setting yourself up to fail in the near future. So the current environment has made me, and hopefully has made most builders, look at their current policies and procedures and look at the way that you are running your business. And I know it's difficult to look at our business as we're all so busy, and, you haven't really, got time to sit down and look at some of the things in your business. But looking at the way you're running your business and looking at some of the things that may be happening in your business will stop you from, falling victim to some things that you think, gee, I wish I had paid attention to that earlier, and maybe I wouldn't be in this situation I'm in now. So in the last year or so, I've been starting to charge clients for putting together designs and presenting quotes. And it is a topic that's often brought up in the building industry in regards to, getting people to pay for quotes, and it's hard to get clients to do this, and it's hard to bring it up with clients, as typically quotes were done for free. All trades and builders forever and a day have been giving free, no obligation quotes, and it was just part of the process of getting business for the industry. And as time is becoming more valuable, not only are builders, seeing the benefit of charging for that, but clients are actually now becoming more understanding and more aware of, how long it does take for a builder to put a quote together and what's involved. And they are more accepting of being able to pay for a quote. And even project builders, because we often think as custom builders, I don't know how I can quote. I don't know how I can charge for that, because project builders are giving those prices away for free, or what's some of the other common ones? I can't do that in my area. And I had that, block in myself, because I live in a regional area, and I felt like I couldn't ask people for money to provide them with the service that we did, because, others were doing it for free. But that was, I guess, a block that I had was, well, no, we're in a regional area. People aren't willing to pay for this service when they can go and get something for free from someone else. But I started to realize that the people that do want to work with a custom builder are people that are prepared to pay for something if they're getting the result or if they're getting some sort of a result. So, even project builders, although they do have standard-based pricing, most of them will not give a site-specific price until their client has paid for a preliminary cost such as soil testing and engineering. So then they can give them an accurate price to put within the fixed price contract. So charging for this process helps builders eliminate clients that typically were just price checking against they usually have already probably found a preferred builder, but they're just wanting to price check that builder. And even if you only charge a nominal amount, it does help with your cost to acquire a client, meaning this fee can go towards paying the costs for you to market and advertise your business to get clients through the door. And it helps with your mindset as well. So when someone is paid you for a service, you don't feel like you're just being taken advantage of. It can help you stay more accountable to that client and provide a quote in a more timely manner than when you're not being paid for it. It's where often prioritize our work by the importance. And when you have to do something, you feel like you're not getting paid for, or you feel a bit more resentment as such to doing that job, you delay that process. You put that to the bottom of the pile. So people usually have a problem that they want solved. In our case, for, people that come to us that want to build a house, the client wants a quote to compare with other builders. And if you can show the client that the best solution to solve this problem is for them to pay you to provide a comprehensive quote and not just an estimate, then they'll be happy to pay for that solution. However, you need to be able to communicate that paying for your solution, getting a quote from you, will give them the best outcome or experience. The client wants to know that if they pay you, they'll have the highest likelihood of success when they pay for that service. So a client expects when they get a quote that their quote will include, all aspects of their build. They don't want any hidden surprises. So if they believe that you have communicated, that you will deliver that to them, it won't have any hidden, costs, or we've included everything. It's not just base pricing. It's not a guesstimate. They'll usually part with their money and pay for that service. And at all stages throughout your business, when dealing with, I guess, whether a prospective client or a client that you're working with, you do need to have the mindset of how can I provide more value to this client? Warren Buffett says price is what you pay and value is what you get. So you always want to be able to show and communicate to your client that what they are paying you is valuable to them and that you're providing them with a solution to either their problem or the desire that they're after. And another thing clients are looking for when they are deciding if they'll work with you is, they're looking to see how long it will take you to get that price back to them. So a selling point when you are asking a client to pay for a quote is explaining why typically builders do take so long to get a quote to them, because often they're doing it for free. So if you're doing it for free, it's going to take them longer because they'll do that quote when they have time, which they don't have time, and when they need to. So only when they realize I don't have enough work up and coming in my pipeline, I better get this quote done. So at the moment, builders have plenty of work. So if you're doing free quotes, your mindset will be, I don't really need the work right now, so I don't need to prioritize this for the client. However, if you were getting paid and the client is serious about working with you because they've, parted with their money, you will make this a priority. And there's a saying called fast beats free. So if you can communicate to your client that paying for a quote is going to get them to, the next stage of building and being able to make plans for themselves of when this is going to happen and what they need to do next. So when they're just waiting for quote, they're just in this limbo of they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to move forward. They don't know if they should be doing something more. They start to get frustrated because they can't do anything. They can't move forward. They can't make a decision. They can't decide if that's the plan that they want or if that plan's going to be too expensive for them. They want to have, a goal to keep them moving forward. So if you can explain to them that paying for this quote is going to get it to them faster, it's going to be more in depth than just a guesstimate, that gives them the ability to make a decision, and they can then move forward, whether that's with you or with someone else. And more likely, if they've paid for that quote and that quote fits within the guidelines and you've shown to them that you can deliver what they're actually desiring, they will move forward with you. They just want to make that decision, and time is against them when they choose free. So, you want to have a pipeline of work sitting waiting for you to start. We've always worked in a feast and famine economy, and at present there is the ability to have work booked in and waiting for you to move forward with. However, and there's always a however, you need to ensure that if you are lining up work, you are protecting yourself in some way from, if you're giving them a price now, make sure that the client is aware that, if you're not starting within the next 6 months or next whatever time frame you want to make it, you're going to have to reprice that for them. So, make sure that there is an expiry date on that pricing. Make sure you've explained to the client why there is only maybe a 30-day, expiry on that quote when normally it might have been 3 months. But explain that to them up front so that they're not shocked when you then turn around and say, look, it's taken 3 months to get out of the engineering. I'm now going to have to reprice this at the current prices because the prices are going up pretty much every month. So this then brings me on to, how are you presenting that quote to the client once you have finally put that together? And one things we want to be able to do is, I guess, take yourself out of the race to the bottom price war or being known as a commodity, your home's being a commodity as opposed to something that someone values. So you need to be able to communicate and present to your client what I call an investment invite, which is what I call my quote. That's what my business can offer my client, and that offer needs to show that will give them the best chance of them getting the desired outcome that they're after. And that desired outcome is typically their dream home. So throughout the initial process of working with your prospective client, you want to, I guess, extract a lot of intel from them. And I cover this in depth in my Build Up to Nail Down program, and I call it Operation Intel. And the intel I'm referring to is finding out each individual client that you're working with, pleasures and pain points, along with what they desire, so that you can move them towards what they desire and take away the pain they are concerned about or believe that they're going to encounter when they're getting their home built. So you might ask a question like, why did you choose this particular block of land? And when you ask that question, they'll give you an insight into why they did. And you might get an answer like, I love the view, or I like the remoteness, or it could just simply be that this is the block that they could afford. But these answers help you present a quote, my investment invite, to work with your business. You need to be able to present the quote in a manner that shows building a home with you will yield them the best desired result. This is why I call it investment, because I believe that they're investing with us to get a yield, a return on their investment, and get the best result. So you need to be able to communicate that you are able to get them that best result. So you want to show that investing their money in their home through your business will give them that best return and that best outcome. Larissa says, I love the investment invite. Yes, because when we're building a home for someone, they're investing their money to build a home for themselves, and they should get that money back if they're invested wisely. So it's not just that they're spending, $500,000 and they can't get that money back. They get that money back when they sell their home, and hopefully they get a return on that. And choosing their builders wisely can get them a better return than maybe getting it from a different builder. So when you present the quote to your ideal client, make sure you've thought about it from the client's perspective. They're not just buying a house, they're buying the emotion of being in that home and what that will bring them. They might want a home to bring their kids up in, or they might want a home that will be the home that they spend their last years in. You want to be able to show that your home will be the best home to achieve these desired outcomes. So to learn more about how to communicate clients' desired outcomes and what they really are purchasing, stay tuned for the release of my Build Up to Nail Down program. But until next week, keep powering your building business.